Hi there everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So I have here my gold bar, which I've refined from gold jewelry, which was purchased on eBay. I'll put a link to the videos where I did that down in the description. And I also have here a gold ball, which I produced from some gold bars, which I flattened out and made into gold foil, and then hammered back into a solid. And here's the ball, and it makes a rattling noise, because the gold has welded to itself and formed shells. And there's essentially a smaller ball inside of a larger ball. We will cut this open at some point, but before I do that, I really want to make it bigger. So I'm going to take this gold bar and add it to this one here. And of course, to do that, I've got to flatten this bar out. And you might be able to see right over here that I have the roller mill. I actually have it bolted down this time, so hopefully we should be able to do this much easier. You know, I'm not having to hold it down with my other hand while I'm finagling it around. Alright, anyway, the first thing I wanted to do is take some sandpaper here. Just take a little piece off here. And I'm just going to take off some of these contaminants. There's some stuff that kind of poured out onto it while I was making the bar from the furnace. I think a lot of it is actually like rust from the lid. And I'm just going to kind of scrape that off so that I'm left with a pure piece of gold. I don't want to flatten those bits of material into the metal. And I am saving all of the shavings that come off of the sandpaper. So there's a little bit right here, and that's just about it, I think. It was pretty good. Okay. I will switch to gloves as soon as I'm got this down farther. So there's a little bit of gold powder. I'll be sure to save that. Add it to my growing pile of stuff that contains gold. Alright, so here we go. Let's put this into the roller. Hopefully it's already thin enough that it'll just go right through. Ah, look at this, I can use both hands to crank it. Oh, this is great. Actually put some force on there. Yeah, see, it's already deformed. Well, that's good. It means I've been doing some work to it. I think we'll just pass it through a couple more times. It gets easier the next few times, because now everything's all uniform. But I'll just put this through a few more times, and then we'll go hit it with a torch to anneal it. Yeah, see how it kind of curves into an S pattern? That'll start to go away once it's thin enough that I can bend it by hand. Okay, I think one more time before we anneal. There we go. Here, I got a little piece of fire brick. Bonus points to anyone who knows what video this came from. I'll just set this right here. That way I'm not burning the table with the gold bar. I kind of tip it on its side actually, so I can heat it easier. Now we're just heating this up until it's red hot. And that way it'll relieve all the stresses that are in the crystals, reforming them into their original shapes, making the metal soft again. Alright, I think that's just about right. You can see if I put shadow over it, yeah, it's glowing. And as it cools off, you'll be able to see it turn back to a gold color. It'll be just as shiny as when we started, probably actually shinier. Let me actually tip it over. Maybe we can get a better view of it. I'm just going to wait for this to slowly cool off, and then we can smash it one more time. Alright, so now that it's mostly cooled down, you can see it is indeed gone back to the nice yellow gold color. Let's run it through the mill again. Oh yeah, this is going much faster than I can put some more force behind it. That's a little bit choppy. The gears are kind of meshing incorrectly. It's not that big of a deal because I can just power through. Might have to straighten it out. So now I can't get it through that way, see? Let's try it like this. And there we go. Yep. Probably have to anneal it again already. You don't get very many flattenings before it becomes too hard. A little bit of discoloration on there. Probably something off the brick vaporizing. Let's use a cleaner side of the brick, shall we? Okay, let's just blast it. Alright, once again cooled off. And you can see, yeah, there is some discoloration here that is still there. And I thought maybe heating it up would, you know, anything that vaporized and stuck to it would then vaporize and leave again, but apparently it's still there. Well, one thing I can try is just to scrub it off with some sandpaper. It's a little thinner every time, and longer too. He got stuck. Bent over. See that? Let's see, can I bend it? Nope. Not at all. I'm gonna have to anneal it again. Alright, let's have a look at this. It doesn't look like the tarnish has come back, so we're good. Let's see if I can bend it. Piece of cake. Yeah, heating it really makes it a lot easier to bend. And easier to roll out. Let's keep going with it. I don't know if you can see, but after every time I run it through, I move this handle just a little bit to tighten the jaws. So they get a little bit closer together each time. Look how long it's getting. It's going so much faster. It's getting to be hard again though. Maybe one more time, then I gotta anneal it again. Alright. You can see it's getting pretty long now. I have to coil it up in order to anneal it. So I get the torch on the whole thing. Alright, let's run it through. It's getting to the point now where it's going to be hard to keep it straight. It's not strong enough for me to, use its own leverage to torque it into position. Okay, yeah, it's getting to the point where it wants to wander off to the side, so you know what, let's just take some scissors here, snip. Now it's two short pieces, and just run them through individually. Actually, even these pieces might be too long. Okay, so let's run these pieces of metal through the roller one last time. And let's see if we can weld them all together into one long strip. So, there we go. Okay. I've got this piece in the rollers, and let's just stick this one in there with it, and then use the roller to smash them together. Let's see if they bind. It's kind of hard to roll over that. Okay, let's roll it back. Okay, it's a little bit wonky, but yeah. That's welded. Those two pieces are now one. Let's finish rolling it through. Alright, so here's the strip of gold. It's something like 12 or 15 feet long. Just about got it all rolled up. And a nice coil of gold foil. Look at that. Now, just holding this is just so weird. Something this thin and flexible has no business being this heavy. Alright, so here's my coil of gold. Here's the gold ball. And I guess it's time to combine the two and hopefully make the ball bigger. So let's just kind of smash this against it, like so. And then kind of hammer a little bit as we go. So the gold wasn't welding quite as well as it was last time. I think that's either because the gold is slightly less pure, or maybe I've got some oil from my gloves onto the metal. And so what I've been doing is kind of heating it up, you know, to burn off the oils and what other impurities, and also soften the gold so it sticks to itself better. And I noticed it doing something weird. You can probably see it right now, but as I heat it up, it starts to vibrate. It's like a dragon egg trying to hatch, isn't it? What am I going to do if a dragon pops out of this thing? You can even hear the noise it's making. It's got to be air escaping from it or something. By the way, the discoloration that's on the gold right now is from me touching it with my gloves and it burning some of the leather onto it. So I've just been hitting the ball against the anvil. You know, it kind of acts like its own hammer because it's so heavy. You can see I've gotten it pretty smooth. It's still got some regmaglyphs in there, but yeah, I'm approaching the point where I think I'm going to stop. I'm not going to sand it or anything. I'm just going to use some steel wool to scrub off some of those blemishes that came from the burning glove. I find that steel wool works pretty good for polishing gold. You think it wouldn't, but it does. So I've just polished it a little bit with the steel wool. I think I'm going to call this ball done. So let's set it on the scale, see what it weighs. It's 0.584 kilograms, so 584 grams. You know, it's not that big. It was incredibly heavy for its size, even if it's got a little bit of empty space that it's rattling around. Here, let me roll it across the table. Let's see how it sounds. So I've come outside so we have a little bit better lighting. Let's focus on the ball. Just like that. Let's get a good look at this. See, it's very shiny. There are a few blemishes though. You see this right here? That spot where the gold did not stick down properly. I never did get it to stick. I don't know if that's because maybe there was a contamination underneath of it here, or if it's just because the gold was less pure. Either way, I couldn't get some places to weld. I got most of it to weld though. I think I'm going to use that as an excuse to destroy this ball and then remake it later. Make it again without those blemishes. I guess I could stick more gold onto this, but I really want to see what's inside of it. So let's do that. Let's cut it in half. Before we cut into it, let's measure its volume so we can figure out what the density is. 30.64 milliliters. Okay, so if my calculations are correct, and I'm sure many people will check my math, the density of this ball is 19 grams per cubic centimeter, which means it's almost as dense as it would be if it was solid gold. And yet, it rattles, so there is still space in there. So judging from this, that space that's in there must be very small. Okay, here goes. Let's cut it. Now for a soft metal, this is pretty labor intensive. Okay, so here's the ball. I've cut most of the way through it. You see there's a little bit left. And it's piping hot due to the friction. I'm actually going to put on these gloves here. Let's pry it apart and see what it looks like. Alright. Open it up just like a clamshell, I guess. Looks pretty solid from here. You can see all the gold shavings that I took off. Let's zoom in a little. Okay, so it looks like the saw has smeared the metal out a little bit. It's like hidden most of any details. But I do see right in here, if I can zoom in on it. Ooh, it's hot. I think I should let it cool down. If you look right in here, seems like a little bit of a crack, a little bit of a almost a ring. You can see there's something over here too. So those are our rings. You know what? I'm going to get one of these halves and separate it. And I'm going to polish it with some sandpaper to remove the tool marks so that we can actually see a little bit better. So as you can tell, I've been polishing away and I got it down pretty far. This piece here in the center though has started to work loose, and so I think I'm going to try prying it out. Let's see how this looks. Let's see. Get my screwdriver here. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that is interesting, isn't it? a nugget of gold in there. Oh, that is cool. So it seems to me like maybe it only did have the one sphere inside. It tried to do extra layers here where I stuck on the extra gold. But it seems like the majority of the rattling was coming from just this right here. So here it is. I think it looks a bit like a cantaloupe. Let's grab a thumbnail. YouTube really likes thumbnails that contain a face. In fact, if you've noticed, almost all of the videos on trending have got some sort of face on it. So here, let's see. Let me hold it. Let's not reveal it. Let's see, kind of, wow! There we go. Let's see. Oh, let's try that. Yeah. Well, anyway, there it is. I'm gonna take this back to the bank and put it in my safety deposit box, because I'm not dumb enough to leave this in my house. That's $25,000 in gold. You guys go ahead and comment on what you'd like to see me do with this next. I will get this out occasionally and make something with it. The ultimate goal is a full-sized gold play button. But in the meantime, things like maybe a golden spike. You know, I could recreate the golden spike that they drove into the rails in Promontory. But if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.